The following may contain language that is not suitable for all audiences. It's time for the Low Fact Podcast. That's kind of funny how you're so into the bells and you mess it up every time.
I know. I gotta practice.
How do you practice that? You don't have to do it. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot about populism and the establishment.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know that populism will ever win.
Oh, so populism and the establishment are at odds?
They're always at odds. I mean, the narrative has been that Donald Trump is a populist president, and the people are kind of, the establishment folks should wise up to the fact that, there are people that support Donald Trump, and then there are Republicans. And they don't necessarily intertwine.
I mean, there's got to be Republicans who are also populists.
Sure, but the converse is not necessarily true.
Populists who are Republicans?
Well, most populists are just that. They're populists. They want stuff of the people. But
do they really want stuff for the people or of the people?
If you're one of the populists, you do. And the second you kind of move up, then all of a sudden you're like, no, the people can't. They're stupid. The people are just idiots.
Then you become establishment?
Well, after a while, that's
what is the establishment, though?
It's the people that have all the power.
Is it
and the money?
Being part of the, what did you call it? Part of the
system?
The system.
I call them lackeys, and that's kind of mean. But the more I think about it, I don't think anybody's in control. They like to think that they are. And that brings me, like I said, there are these pithy little statements that are true. But when I hear them, it pisses me off because it rings hollow and because words have never really meant much to me. Right? So, like, when you say rule of law, you can say rule of law till the cows come home, but those laws have to be enforced.
Yeah.
And usually they're enforced by guns.
Yeah.
So, you have the guns, then whatever you say is the rule of law. So all these people, all these anti-gun folks, I understand. Gun violence is bad. You don't want just anybody to have a gun, but that's you kind of do because that's supposed to be the check against the power of the government. And if anyone's wondering what a populace with a bunch of small arms can do to a giant invading force, look at all the conflicts we've been in since well, including Vietnam even. Afghanistan, bunch of people with small arms.
Yeah.
Fighting against the strongest military in the world with all kinds of hardware.
Afghanistan, that wasn't before Vietnam. Vietnam was first.
Oh, Afghanistan's been going on since Queen Victoria in some form.
Oh, right.
But, right, so Afghanistan, what was it? What was the war?
The Taliban?
No, when Queen Victoria was around.
Oh, shoot, I don't know, dude.
Oh, shoot, it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, even with when the Soviets took over Afghanistan and all the mujahideen that were using that we were paying to fight against the Soviets,
Well, we were able to beat the Soviets because of Rambo. It was John Rambo.
Okay, yeah, was that one guy? Yeah. Yeah, I forget.
Yeah.
But I'm digressing, really.
So, but what led you to think about populism, though?
Oh, the fact that the fact that the popular media, the not so popular media, all kinds of people talking about Donald Trump being a populist. And yeah, he's done a lot. It seems like he's done a lot for the people that wasn't. Well, the only reason why it seems like he's populist is because he was an establishment. I mean, he's a rich guy, right? And he comes in and he's not established. He's so not established. All the establishment people did whatever they could to muck up everything that he did.
And they didn't.
Oh, I'm sure they did. I mean, I'm not here to put a thumbs up or a thumbs down on the Donald Trump presidency. Hell, there are some people thinking that it's going to keep going.
Yeah, I don't think it's over.
I think it's highly unlikely that it isn't over.
Yeah.
But, so
There's
what?
going to be a whole lot of disappointed people.
Well, it's going to be a whole lot of there's going to be a whole lot of disappointed people, and even the people that think they're not going to be disappointed are going to be disappointed. But, a Joe Biden presidency, everybody's like, oh, we're going to get all this health care, climate change, things are going to change, all this is going to change. I'm like, well, it's going to, I'm basically thinking it's going to be another term of Barack Obama's presidency, and
Did I just make that noise? Yeah.
I don't see much change going on with him. Only change I saw was a whole bunch of people deciding, I didn't vote right. I mean, there were so many people that thought it was such a great thing. And I was just like, I don't know. I didn't like.
So what happens when nothing happens? I mean, are these people that are for Joe Biden, and are they going to sit there and say it just didn't happen because there were too many people trying to stop Joe from doing what he wanted to do?
Well, there's always going to be an excuse, but what happens when nothing happens? Everybody's going to love it.
Why?
Because I think deep down, people don't want change. What happens if it's worse?
That could happen. I think it's pretty. I think there's a good chance of things getting worse, to tell you the truth.
No, but I'm saying it's not. People don't want change because what happens if it gets worse?
Oh.
There aren't that many people in the "it can't get any worse" column.
Well, I think it is going to get worse. That's my point.
You mean for you or for everybody?
For everybody. I think it's going to get worse.
Well, then he might. He might end up being. Was it Van Buren?
Who the fuck is he one of our old presidents?
Yeah.
And it wasn't good. When was Van Buren?
Oh, it was sometime before Lincoln.
Really?
Yeah. I forget which president it was, and if anyone's curious, they can go listen to some kind of.
Do you know Abraham Lincoln only did 8 executive orders?
I wouldn't doubt it.
I mean, all those guys in the start did very few. And then they just multiplied and multiplied and multiplied.
Well, yeah, because that's what happens to power. See, people sit there and say, "Oh, this is just for an emergency. I'm going to do this just now because it's an emergency."
Yeah.
Anybody that believes, okay, this one's going to happen, it's going to be done, everything's going to go back, that's stupid.
Oh, you mean once it's done, everyone's like, "Oh shit, I can do it."
Right. I mean, that's the whole reason why people hate entitlements. Everybody might sit there and complain about Social Security, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to get rid of it. You can't take away my Social Security. I paid through it all my life.
Mm-hmm.
Is the thing that old people say. And I believe that one thing that I heard years ago was that the amount of money that you pay in your Social Security stuff, that's done within the first couple of years.
Really?
Yeah, and plus, when you're paying into Social Security, you're not paying for your Social Security. You're paying for the people that are getting it now.
Oh.
I mean, the people that, like even the people that sit there and say, oh, illegal immigration no good, or illegal immigration bad, or whatever, none of those people care at the top.
Oh, at the top.
Right? The people that are arguing about it are the dummies that are sitting there, are the two fleas sitting there talking about which end of the dog they own. At the top, they don't care. They want more people here.
Why?
Labor.
Cheap labor.
Period. Labor, period.
They don't, well, yeah.
They don't care, cheap or otherwise. So what? Labor. I mean, they sit there and talk about, all the people talking about, oh, I need to hire all these migrant workers to pick all the fruit because, Americans are too lazy. They don't want to do it. No, Americans are not too lazy. It's not that they don't want to do it. It's they don't want to sit there and pick fruit for 12 hours a day for $1 an hour, maybe.
Yeah.
And even with that, with whatever you get paid, they provide these people with accommodations and stuff, right?
Oh, they do?
Some places do. They give them little dorms and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they charge you for that.
Oh, that comes back to the company store again.
Yeah. And all these people talking about how capitalism is bad, And again, this is an argument that other people use. And it's a stupid argument. Not because it's wrong, but because the people putting forth that argument,
mm-hmm.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Right? The whole idea that that you say is like, oh, people logic doesn't work on these people. It's so weird. It's like, well, they're not thinking about it logically.
We're screwed.
Huh?
I said we're screwed.
No, we're not, because we have a benevolent God that loves idiots, and he's allowed these idiots to go on.
Why?
How do I know? How do I know? I'm one of the idiots. How am I supposed to be able to figure out the benevolent God?
I don't know why but why doesn't he just smite some people?
Maybe he's bored. And what are you talking about? Of course, he smites people left and right.
No, he should smite some idiots.
Well, he does.
Not me. I'm not an idiot.
He does, but what happens when one of the idiots that he decides to smite is you?
When I don't put myself in the idiot camp.
Well, nobody does. But I think it's time that people start.
Smiting the idiots.
No, I think it's time people stop sitting there thinking about other people like they're you.
What? What do you mean?
The whole big problem that people have with a lot of stuff is because they sit there and think that other people are like themselves, in the sense that they are great, they're loving, they're caring, and blah blah this and blah blah that, and this is all true, but in actuality, yes, people.
No, I don't think it is true.
No, people are just like you, and you're a dumbass. And I'm including myself in that thing, right?
I'm very skeptical whenever somebody says that they're compassionate and they care about other people. I always find that those are the least compassionate people.
Well, that's why I always thought that was an aspirational statement. When people talk about how smart they are, or how mean they are, or how good they are, or how bad they are, most of the time it seems like that's a very aspirational statement. I'm not saying it's always false, but people are going to fall short. I mean, I enjoy telling people that I'm a mean person, and I'm not really. But
I don't even think it's well, maybe it is aspirational. But I think
sure it is.
People who specifically say I'm a very kind, compassionate person.
No, you're not.
Least.
You're confusing it, right? When I say aspirational, I mean objectively it's aspirational. The person saying it might not think it's an aspiration. They might think it's a done deal.
Oh, they think they are.
Right, but from my point of view, I'm like, okay, sure, you're more compassionate than, say, I don't know, Joseph Mengele. But that seems to be a rather low bar.
When someone says that, it's like oftentimes they're the most judgmental person you'll ever meet in your life.
Right, but I'm
so
sure
they're only going to be compassionate towards you if you meet their set of criteria of you got to be the right kind of person.
Well, okay. I mean, Joseph Mengele didn't perform weird medical experiments on his family.
Yeah.
In fact, I heard
Why
stuff.
do you always bring up the Nazis?
I don't know.
Because usually, with us, this is the podcast, but I feel like if it was in general conversation with someone we didn't know, I'm pretty sure that would finish the conversation.
Well, I guess that's not the intent, but because that's somebody that everybody knows.
It's a very extreme example.
If I was talking about some kid that I grew up with named Chuck,
it's a very
who was that way, you'd have no idea.
But it's a very extreme example because I don't think that he was compassionate.
He was probably compassionate to his family.
Yeah, but...
Oh, you mean compassionate to everyone?
Yeah.
Like Mother Teresa?
Yeah. Like
the woman who insisted that the poor and unwashed of Calcutta should suffer in their illnesses, so that they can be closer to Jesus, while she got every medical procedure that known to man?
No, I've never heard this.
Oh, I have.
I won't have it. Just for the record, I'm totally not in agreement with Dave on Mother Teresa.
Well, Christopher Hitchens, what did he call her? He called her a Romanian, money-grubbing Romanian midget thug or something.
Christopher Hitchens is a freaking atheist.
I don't think he was. He had incredible intellect. But I don't know that
I'm having some nuts.
And that's another thing. Just because you're an atheist don't mean you don't worship something.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. Damn it, I dropped my nut. So you're telling me that Mother Teresa let the poor suffer instead of taking care of them?
No, she took care of them, but she thought it was a good idea that they suffered so that they could know what Jesus went through.
So she let them suffer?
I don't know what she did. This is very tenuous. I read a piece of something. that
Damn right, it's tenuous.
that showed her hypocrisy. And, you're going to be, if you're going to look for someone, if you're going to look somewhere for someone who isn't a hypocrite, you're going to be disappointed. Everyone's a hypocrite. I'm a hypocrite, and I'm okay with it.
I'm pretty sure Mother Teresa was not a hypocrite.
Why? She wasn't a person?
She was a saintly person.
Well, even that's up for debate, especially if you're one of those strong Catholics.
What do you mean strong?
Strong, old school, non-novice order folks.
So, they don't believe that they think the saints are political?
Well, they think one of the new ones are.
Oh, okay. Like Mother Teresa.
Is she a saint?
I'm not sure.
John Paul II's a saint, and they're sitting there going, "Oh no."
I like John Paul II.
Well, I have a friend that used to like him a lot too. 20, 30 years ago.
And not anymore?
Now, not so much.
Oh, shit.
Of course, he only reads the Vulgate Bible, so.
I got one of those. These nuts are so good.
But we've shot past populism, and we just don't know.
Christmas nuts. That's all I've got to say.
Well, there you have it. That just reminds me of the 101st Airborne Division during the Battle of the Bulge.
They got Christmas nuts?
No. I'm sure a goodly number of them got their nuts shot off, but supposedly during the Battle of the Bulge, the 101st Airborne Division was cut off from any kind of resupply. Patton was whatever. Actually, they don't even believe that Patton.
They were like, fuck Patton. We don't need Patton to rescue us.
Yeah, pretty much. But when the German general was suggesting that they surrender because, they were in a pretty bad state, apparently the commander just wrote back nuts.
And the German commander was like, what does this mean, this nuts?
Hell, this American kid, 60, however many years it was, like 80 years later, still going, what the hell does this mean, nuts?
That means screw you, right?
I guess it would have been indelicate.
Like nuts to that?
Yeah, or you're nuts.
That's a very archaic, old-timey expression.
Nuts?
Yeah.
Nah.
If you said nuts to me, I'd like, what the hell are you talking about?
That's because you're not American.
He's nuts?
You know what nuts means.
These nuts. Well, only because you've told me.
Really? You don't? Oh, that's right. You guys.
I didn't read Archie.
You guys.
Like growing up.
I didn't either. You guys use that weird term, mad.
Huh?
For crazy, right? Mad.
Mad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that always confused me. It's like, oh, he went mad. I'm like, really? Well, he didn't seem angry.
Mad means crazy.
Well, so does nuts.
Contextually, I mean, if you said he was mad at him, that doesn't mean crazy. Oh yeah, I guess it's confusing. If you said he was mad, it could be either. Even
mad at as a hatter really kind of threw me for a loop until I learned about people that used to make hats.
Oh yeah, what was it?
The Mercury.
Mercury.
They used mercury a lot, and it made them go crazy.
That's fucked up.
So that was when I was sitting there going, oh. And then also I was like, so you made a person go mad so you can wear stupid headgear.
That's weird.
There's the Elite for you.
Did you read Alice in Wonderland when you were young?
Nope.
I love that book.
I did not.
What about Alice Through the Looking Glass?
Nope.
Huh.
I never read much.
At least you did.
That wasn't assigned.
Oh, I read all the fantasy and fiction. We can talk about that another time.
I suppose it's time to get cracking on New Year's Eve dinner.
Woohoo! Wait, why am I talking about Christmas nuts then? I mean New Year's Eve nuts.
Well, whatever.
They're from Christmas.
Okay, so.
Are we done?
I think so.